Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? Hopefully you had a good afternoon, because yesterday morning was rather boring, wasn't it? And you had to be ready for that fail breakout yesterday, for the turn inside. And that is the scary thing in this market. As you can see on this daily chart, again, look at this low volume, all right? Very, very low volume. Again, yesterday, very, very low. Yes, we're walking up, but it just has me questioning. For sure, there's a higher low. I would call it a soft higher low on a daily yesterday, but really, there's no gut check of lower. It's a slow drift higher. You don't want to be caught buying a high off a low volume move, because if they want to dump it, it won't take a lot to rotate it. And that is the scariest thing right now, is trying to get long in this market without seeing a daily high or low at a decent area is a little bit scary. But we are where we are. We can only trade what's in front of us. Let's get into it. We are opening up inside. Yesterday had a fail breakout and a fail breakdown. All right, look below and fail. That's what happened first during the overnight session, and look above and fail and trade back inside the range. And today we are opening up within Monday's range. All right, so we're going to be aware of what breakout versus fail breakout. It's really that simple. And your key levels are sort of 550. 550 here has the ability to trigger a squeeze up towards 700, and if they get really trigger happy, 900. All right, it also has the ability to do a little look above and a big dumperama back to where that low was put in yesterday, and if it wanted to keep washing to 25,000, it can. So I'm very, very aware of both sides of the trade. I don't really want to action new positions in here. That seems like a very, very risky move. So I really want to wait to see if we do this or one of these. All right, that's going to be the easiest two trades that we get today. And it is very much a see money, take money kind of environment as we get into that. And we can look at that in a bit more detail on the hourly chart. Okay, so let's just move this down so you can see it properly. There we go. All right, so still trading inside yesterday's range, but key is we are trading outside of the previous week range. All right, we held previous week's value area high yesterday, and we've created more liquidity in this same sort of pocket here. So I'd say sort of the 300s, the 300s will remain key. This little node here, if we're going to continue to hold it. Now you can see as we get into an old 2-week balanced range, all right, 1, 2, that's where we're trading into, and you can see the supply here. And this is the problem for the market right now. To be truly bullish, we're going to have to get above all of this supply. Everyone's calling for, oh, we've broken out of a trend line. Yeah, whoopee do. We have, but it's not like we've broken out and this is thin structure. All right, if we had something like this on a profile, then we would have plenty of room to run upside. The problem is we're trading into a very, very thick contested area right now. All right, this is a thick area, and we've still remain all these buyers trapped above with relative weakness in the QQQ. I want to be very, very cautious, because getting long for the 550 break, what are you getting long into? All right, just remember that. All right, supply, 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 supply. Can it keep going higher? Absolutely, it can. But it's unlikely to keep going higher off very low volume. All right, so they either turn that buy algo on and they're like, right, we need to get back up to all-time highs for the Santa Claus rally so we get our bonus. And if they don't, then be very aware of that failed breakout, or even just more sideways. All right, we are into December. We can do this. All right, December usually is a slower month. It normally closes up, but this is not a normal year. It's one thing I would keep saying. Everyone looking for that up close. Let's see. Sorry, reminiscence of COVID still here. So yeah, these are the areas I'm looking at. Do we break out over 515, sustain a bid, or are we just going to come and test this old point of control, 625, and find rejection around there? I don't know. I don't know, folks, but these are contested areas. We will trade accordingly. Overnight, you can see not a whole lot happened, really. If we look at yesterday, here's your value area low from yesterday. Right, all we did all day was just slow grind up, right, and eventually it had a fail breakout, and then guess what happened? Well, we give back 50+% of that move, and then we went sideways. I did try a long here yesterday to see if they wanted to reclaim. They didn't have the juice to do it, so we went sideways, and Asia couldn't take out yesterday's high, failed, came back down to this pivot low. London washed Asia, found a bid, and has come back up and taken out yesterday's high. All right, so this is where we're at now. We are bullish in this rotation, but as you can see, big red box up here, right into that big chunky supply. We have that overnight high from Sunday still, so 550 still a level where it's left stop, so I am aware of that. Let's move into this lower time frame. You can see here the London traders grabbing that pivot and dragging us higher. Notably as well, that pivot was right on sort of the top of that value. Let's just go back to it so you can see it. On top of this value, previous week value, this area here is the contested area. I say all the time we're holding that, bulls have the ability to rotate. But if we take liquidity and fail under that, you want to watch out, because you can see, notice how thin we get down here. All right, so if we start losing these levels, it shouldn't take too much to get us back to there. So that's why I want to be cautious about getting long at the highs. All right, let's go through some of the other key levels on the other indexes. I'll move this to a 5-minute. ES, all right, ES has had relative strength in case you're not aware of that. All right, we're right up near the highs right now on ES. It's an impressive move, again, into a supply zone. But if, you know, we can get one of these looks and they are going to sustain the bid, then all-time highs really isn't far away, and neither is the 7,000, which you've got to imagine is where it's trying to go right now. All right, two-leg pullback. Can it hold? All right, can it hold or build liquidity here to get up to 7,000? That's what you're looking for in ES. The one thing I do want to go over is the spiders. Spiders has a couple of big gamma levels right now. 80s is one of them. 680s. Now we're opening up above that, but this level right in here, all right, that is a big gamma level. If you lose that, there's gap fill potential. All right, so just be aware of that today. If they fail to break out, I'd say probably the 85s, and they lose 80s and back test it, there's a deeper wash. So it's probably worth setting a alert there. In fact, I'm going to do it on my other screen now. All right, so that's where weakness will come in if we start staying heavy under 680. Until that point, you can see we're gapping up, so it looks pretty good. Q's the same thing. Dixie, it's starting to get messy on the 10-year and 30-year and Dixie, but here you go. It's trying to form this base. All right, it's trying to form this base to go higher. GC lagging now behind silver. Silver, the one broke out of all-time highs. That thing will probably have to stop at some point soon, but you can see we're just going into like a 2-3 month consolidation before it will have a reattempt higher at the moment. And whether it can break on out or not will be key. VIX, all right, VIX still absolutely dumping. All right, back down into the sort of mid-teens. Remember, volatility dies down, as you can see, once we get down here. So if VIX can't find a bid, we expect lower volatility days and probably more slow grindy days like we had yesterday. The one thing I do want to keep one eye on is this guy right here. All right, the 10-year and the 30-year. I've been calling for this for a while. I think they're going to need to be very careful. If this starts breaking out, we are going to see weakness come in the market. There's no doubt about it. All right, there's the 30-year doing the same. So you want to be careful. All right, we've just washed. We're starting to reclaim. If this starts going, it's going to force some pressure on the market. So one thing I'd be very, very aware of. All right, let's get into the mag. There we go. All right, Apple gapping down. All right, closed yesterday at those all-time highs. It might have been a wick higher based on, I think there was an earnings. There we go, the earnings up to 85. So there is a wick higher, but in terms of a close and a daily, it closed at all-time highs. and pulling back because Apple dragged the market up yesterday. You can see just this squeeze all day long once it got outside of the initial balance. All right, so probably going to offer a pullback today and then see if they bid off sort of 280 or not for a continuation trade on Apple. So pretty strong there, but pulling back this morning. Amazon starting to like get going here, which I'm pretty happy about. I'm still holding my core position from months ago now, but this level here is going to be key. All right, you can see this old wick here, 38s all the way up into sort of 50s. That's supply, that's your blow off top. That's where we failed from. This is a back test. So you'd expect some sell pressure to come in here soon on Amazon. Just be aware of that if you're trading Amazon, but still gapping up, looking good. But you want to be careful as you get into those levels. It's been a nice drive off these lows, you can see from last week. Really, really good drive. That's no joke there, about a 10% drive now. Goog, still giving back after that froth. All right, but still holding. This looks very controlled still on Goog. All right, bouncy ball getting slower and slower. If it starts to turn around, you might see an explosive move. If it can't turn around, then, you know, watch out below. Back into 306s. But opening up flat there on Goog. Nice gap up on Meta. That's good. I'm still long Meta from 580s. Only a small position. Didn't size into this yet. So I still thought it was going to give back more weakness, but apparently not. So gap fill potential here. See how we act at higher day. You have to be watching for a fail breakout and a turn back inside. Same kind of story. Target right now is back towards these 90s. Right, that's the target. It can still put in a lower high, but it was due this bounce here. I want to see how we act if we can get up to 690 ideally. Might not even have the strength to get there, but let's see. But gapping up on Meta. Microsoft opening up flat. And this is not setting up for a good day so far, just a bit of no man's land. Breakout here, consolidation, breakout, starting to come back down to this. And can they find a bid for that continuation? And this is the liquidity that they're going to need to use. So all the time they're holding 80s, they're going to look to try and bid up through 95. But yeah, you can see we're not in multi-time frame alignment. And that's the same story on the Qs right now. Great bid yesterday on Nvidia. All right, so held this low. There's your higher low. And now trying to break out. All right, if we zoom out a little bit, you can see where the supply is. 84 to sort of 82s. That's your first level to get through. Base over that, you've got a shot at getting back to 200s, but that's the level to get through. All right, that is absolutely the level to get through. For me, I'd be very cautious about thinking long on Nvidia at the moment. I think you're just in a range here. It might coil and go, and it definitely has put in a higher low, but this is still a range. This can come back down and test the other side of the range, and we can do this for a long time, like I talked about. December has a nasty habit of doing those kind of moves, which is why I've had a really good year. I want to be cautious going into the end of this month. How are we doing? A couple minutes left. And Tesla pretty much opening up flat as well. Yeah. No real big gaps across the mags. Nothing there that's making me want to jump in with anything right now. Not seeing huge strength in the chip names. And we're opening up right by this supply with that overnight high there. Feels like Groundhog Day at the moment. That's exactly how it feels. Let's have a look on the book. Yeah, no big numbers on this book either. Might be another slow day, folks. Just to make you aware, market opening up here in 40 seconds. Not going to have time to get through all the good mornings, but good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. Remember, today is the last day to get the sale with Apex, 80% sale on Apex, code FCT. All the other sales are still running. Best sales right now, I'd say TPT, 30% off, and if you pass and get to payout, they will give you your money back, so you can basically get that for free. Funded next, fantastic sale happened there over Black Friday. That's now gone, but you can still, if you're a new user, get some decent chunk off using code FCT. And Lucid, worth checking out the new Lucid Flex accounts as well. I think they still have a 40% sale on using code FCT. All right, and here comes the open, folks. So we're opening up right into that sort of supply. I'm going to have to move this red box on Ninja, aren't I? Yep. Sorry, folks, just make sure I get all these coloured correctly. So failing off that first push, double top up there first. I would be interested to see if we can take that out before washing down. Everything opening up green here in the mag. Biggest winner at the moment is Nvidia, 1.25% up. Actually a big winner at the moment. But yeah, I'm not too eager to do much this morning given where we're opening. I want to see if we do a failed breakout or a breakout, really. And I'm not really too keen to buy this market back until we get down into sort of 25,000, 24,900s, really. 24,900 is a better level that I'd be interested in taking a buy position. So yeah, that's a lot lower right now, isn't it? Like 500-600 points lower. So let's just see. Let's just see. See if the market can inject some volume today or not. Because yesterday it was very lackluster. Felt like a holiday hangover. And right now we're just opening up inside Monday. And not too far off from Friday as well. So let's just see what they want to do with this market. Did anyone trade yesterday afternoon? Did any of you catch something good in the afternoon session? And what are you guys looking forward to today? Same things as me? Or have you got other plans? Is it buy and close your eyes? Or any of you in that kind of territory? All right, here's the 500 test. And let's see how we act at those 550s. And if we get going through that, then imagine there's 100 points in it for that old point of control check to 650. So if they get over 550 in base, I'd imagine there's potentially a move to 650. If they get over 550 and they fail, I imagine there's a rotational play back down. Nice, Idris. One thing I also wanted to say, do any of you know how I change your names back? Is that a setting I need to look at? Because it's I can't tell who half of you are now, which is a shame. After we've been streaming for 15 months. So SPY failing to take out yesterday's high as well here. Yesterday's New York session high. Didn't quite fill the gap yesterday on SPY. One thing to be aware of, we did fill it on the Qs. So buyers stepping in here. Can they come and take out the 550s? Tesla's gone red. Apple's gone red. Nvidia's found a bid. All right, so it's Nvidia driving this market. Surprise, surprise. So one stock market again. Everything else not really moving. If anything, it's given back. But Nvidia with a bit of a squeeze on this morning. It's a YouTube thing, is it? It's quite annoying that they've done that. Because now I don't know who half of you are. So I'm just waiting here to see if we take out 550s and then how we act. SPY trading downside still while the Qs are squeezing. So relative strength in the NQ today. That will all just be down to Nvidia. All down to Nvidia. Yeah, big old squeeze this morning from Nvidia. Starting to break out through that balanced range. And you'd imagine it's probably going to test 88. So if it really gets going today, it can really have a shove up. Yeah, it's taking out a week's worth of pinned in action. Nvidia's just broken out through it. We're trading back up to Thursday 20th kind of levels. Getting close to those 550s now. Do you want to watch these? You want to watch in case Nvidia does a failed breakout here, and if we do the same, or if we're going to sustain a bid all the way up to that old point of control, like from what's that, 3 weeks ago, an old weekly point of control, 620s. All right, so how we act here, this red line is important. And if we get through that, maybe 620s, if they continue to squeeze. Alex, do I use a trade copier? Yes, I do use a trade copier. I'm currently using affordable indicators. I was using Rectanto, but they changed everything to try and be a subscription, like greedy buggers. So they got binned off. Okay, through the 550s. Nvidia's still sustaining a bid for now. And this thing is in a squeeze. All of the mag now green again. So I'd say how we operate at 550 now becomes key. All right, can we get up to 620s? No position for me yet. Like I said, I didn't want to particularly get long for the first test into this supply, even though it was likely to potentially do this. I'm just trying to stick to my rules here this morning. This is a decent squeeze out. 120 point range so far in this opening drive. No, I just told you it's affordable indicators. I don't use a web-based trade copier. I think if you do that, you're asking for trouble, but each to their own. But it means you have no control if something goes wrong on their server, which is fairly common. Nvidia now through the 85s. All right, it's a big squeeze out this morning from Nvidia, approaching 3% up on the session for Nvidia already. Next level is actually do have some liquidity sat at 186 or just in front of it. VIX getting crushed, everything moving upside here. There's the 600 test. Remember, 620 is an old point of control, which I would be watching. This thing is just in a hurry to move higher right now. Video still going. Like I said, this is supply. We are thick here. It's a 2 weeks balance range. I'm interested how we act. 620, maybe even 680. Look how we're very, very extended from the flow zones here. Very, very extended. Doesn't mean it can't keep going higher, but this is a squeeze. Nothing more than a squeeze. This would have to pull back and hold for me to be interested in buying it, not go straight up. If you ask me, it's a bit of a stupid market right now in terms of structure. Just thin up for 5 days. We did produce a higher low there on the daily yesterday, but off no volume, it's kind of hard to give it too much credit. But let's just see. This market will do whatever it wants. First hesitation here on Nvidia that we've seen this morning. Not at the 86s yet, but still above the 85s. Still think this can get up into this old point of control. So 620 to 680 is a level of interest. If we get through that, well, you can't rule out the 800s. You really can't. But I don't think we'd do it in a straight move up. Or we shouldn't. I should say we shouldn't do it in a straight move up. It might well do it in a straight move up. You've seen this market do it before. Look at this, just straight squeeze. This will end at some point. There's no structure being built out here whatsoever. Struggling to find buyers above 600 right now. I don't think that will last too long. I think they will find buyers above 600. Just doesn't look like an end of auction yet. I'm watching Nvidia at that 185. If it holds a bid there or not. Big transactions coming in here. Nvidia under that 85. Here's your first pullback. How they operate now is going to be key. Let's get some volume on here. There you go, there's your edge. Like I said, I don't think this is finished auctioning high yet. I don't think we've put in a high yet. Just failed another attempt up there, mind you, but Nvidia back over 185. Still think this potentially got more in it before it pulls back. And when it pulls back, it's probably going to get pretty violent. It's a decent 50-point pullback there, so just be aware of that. Starting to see heavier delta come in here, sell side. They're trying to flip the book here a little bit. Still just dancing in this range. I'm still not convinced we've had a high put in, but there we go. Back down into the edge of this volume. Nvidia giving up 85. I'm watching the edge of this volume in case they lose it for a 50-point drift down, but I'm still not convinced we put in that high yet. Just looking at the volume up there. There's the loss of it. Oh, probably missed that. Just talked about that. Probably missed it. Want to be careful of a bear trap here. I'm not convinced that high of days in. But we did just flip the book delta-wise. Can be a deep drive here if they let it go. 185 on Nvidia has still been reclaimed, so I'm not convinced yet. I think Nvidia's going to do a 5-bar and then one more shove up, and I think NQ still needs to get to that 620 POC, 620 to 680. That's what I think. So I think this might be accumulation and another shove up. So just waiting. And if you're asking why am I not buying up here, well, we're nowhere near any form of structure to buy off. This is your build out. You can see so far they're absorbing underneath it and turning back inside every time they get the chance. Volume's very slow on the book again. It's a bit concerning, guys, I'm going to be honest. This looks very, very slow on the book again. This is literally like yesterday. Nvidia's looking like it wants to make a new high day here. Mag is all green, so I don't want to fight the tape. If they're going to do low vol and drift, they are going to do it. It is what it is. Still absorbing down here. Yeah, I mean, I like trading the 10 o'clock exchange, Jack, for sure. But beyond that, not really. If there's volume and prices moving, I'm interested. Doesn't really matter what time, but yes, I am interested in those exchanges. Very close to that 20s. That old point of control there. Get through that, and there's room to 80s, I would say, which would be the week before. And get through that, you're looking at 800, so, or at least you're looking at 720 liquidity there, and then 800s. Morning, DK. Remember, it's 620, old weekly point of control. We've just got stuck just in front of that so far. Nvidia new high day, like I said, I thought it would do a 5-minute bar and then go. That's exactly what we've seen. So accumulation here, probably one more shove up and then see what they how they act there. We've had no retest of the 550 where we just broke out from. All right, so we are now in an outside bar. Daily is trading up. We've had a higher low put in yesterday. Want to be aware of that. Don't really want to fight the trend. This is more me talking out loud here as well. Unless there's a big exchange and a big failure for a trade back inside the range, we have to be aware that we are now breaking out on a daily after putting a higher low. There's the fail on Nvidia, trading back down to these 85s. Now we're testing the edge of this range again, the edge of this volume range. If they leave this volume range, we can trade about another 50 points lower. If they reclaim this, it's going to be another bear trap and a trade inside. All right, so just be very, very careful. There's a trade back down towards the New York VWAP. We're holding flow zones. We're holding edge of this range again. Nvidia's still holding 185 for now. This looks very dangerous to me. Oh, Bookmap's being annoying again. It's under 185, but we found a bid here on the market. So it just feels like it's teetering on the edge here. Do they leave this volume and trade 50 points lower is the question right now. Back to the point control, back inside the volume, testing this volume. They need to sell this, and if they don't sell it, Nvidia's reclaimed 185. You want to be very careful about a re-squeeze higher here. This looks very trappy here this morning in my mind. Very, very trappy here this morning. Remember, they've not taken out the 620s yet. Yeah, this is low volume, dangerous market. Honestly, this is screaming, don't touch it to me for 2 days in a row here. I think market makers are going to have some fun with this market and rotate and rotate and rotate and rotate off load of very low volume for a little while here until we're in a multi-time frame trend. Reclaimed 185 here, still not getting to that 620. Building out more volume at these highs. Flow zone starting to catch up. VWAP is not really pointing upside. It's starting to flatten out here a little bit. So they need to squeeze this higher and soon. Otherwise, it's just going to chop for a long time. 85s again here on the market. This is pretty ugly, I would say, at the moment. And the book is thin. It's thinning out. Not a lot of volume here. Back to test the lower side. Are they going to snap this now? Nvidia back under 85. Starting to see that failure starting to come in. Shorts will need a new low here for a rotation back down towards the VWAP. Why have I lost my New York VWAP on here? There's my anchor. There you are. So here's the test of it. Lots of buyers stacking up here with passive orders, trying to absorb the book down here in front of VWAP. That, I'm telling you, that 185 on Nvidia is key. It's still holding it for now. This can still be accumulation to go higher if they want to. But we have started to leave this volume here at 84, 85. But we've got VWAP right underneath us now. Use a 15-minute jack. Okay, so what's your 15-minute track telling you? Because for me, you're just trading inside of the 15-minute right now. So if you're going to take a breakout outside of the 15-minute, you're going to buy the weekly high, are you? Still stuck here. POC up here now as well. Nvidia under the 85, but no, you're not seeing huge sell pressure. Meta also gone red. Google having a decent morning now. Found a bid. Still think this has got that room to 620 and then see how it acts. Nvidia holding 185. It just feels like nothing. Just feels like absolutely nothing again. Low volume trap again. Just like yesterday. Just like last week. And remember, we're in breakout on the daily. So I don't really want to be thinking too short on this at the moment. We're in breakout on the daily. Daily's a nice big green bar above Friday's high. We're breaking out. I want to be aware of that. There might be a rotation back in, but it's not a short on a daily right now on a breakout. We certainly haven't come back to a level that I would feel comfortable buying at. Tesla fighting to stay green right now. Meta the same. Nvidia losing that 85 at the moment. Might see some more downside pressure here on Nvidia if it starts to really get going. 620 is that level, that old point of control. Yeah, 620-ish. And then what's the other one? 678, 26. Okay, here's a test of 5-day. No dice up there so far. Door just got slammed in their face. Still don't think we've left enough excess as a high. Still think there's a new high coming. We don't think we've left enough excess buy side as a high. Oh, mate. Straight move and then sideways. Market, honestly. All right, back down towards VWAP. Do they buy the VWAP again and take us back upside? Look how quickly these move. We're so thin. That didn't take a lot to move us straight back down to the other side of that range then. It really took nothing. Do they bid VWAP here? Still don't think there's enough excess at the high, but just back down into that imbalance from that first big candle on the way up, right? This imbalance here. We're holding that imbalance right now. No follow through under VWAP yet. VWAP's flattened out, like I said. It's one thing I'd be concerned about. It's flattening out. Is there any liquidity hanging lower? 40, that's about it. This looks so bad, folks. This looks like another day where I want to go back to bed. It's got that feeling at the moment. Hope the whole of December isn't going to be like this. Really do. Just holding on to VWAP right now. There's a bigger rotation if they let go of it. But it's an old imbalance. If they let go of that first squeeze, it can go right back down to the beginning of the day, honestly. But no, we just have to see. Tape looks dreadful again. Just so slow. Watching Bookmap, just so slow. And we're absorbing off no size. This doesn't look good, folks. It looks like a no trade situation at the moment, unless we leave volume one way or the other. If we keep going sideways just under volume, there's nothing we can do. There's no play here to be had. Nvidia looks very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And we still haven't hit that 620, remember. And we're not leaving, unless they leave aggressively, this volume, and we just hang around. If we just hang around between VWAP and here, all we're going to do is build a bigger volume shelf, which is basically what we did yesterday. We just kept building more and more volume. They need to leave this volume to trade lower for a trade inside and then a buyback once they do that. I'm not going to buy up here. There's just no way. Yes, your VWAP is down here. This is a New York VWAP. That's why this is anchored off the opening print. This is cash. I care about cash. You can see market cares about cash, doesn't care about this down here. It's too far away to care about right now. Might care about it later if we get there. Failing POC there on that last push. Now, they need to trade away from here now. They're stuck between New York VWAP and POC. This is about as dreadful as you get. Chance to breathe? I don't really think so. Consolidation, what, after a 5 or 6 day squeeze higher? A consolidation for 10 minutes on low volume after low volume squeeze for 6 days? I wouldn't say it's a chance to breathe. I think it's more a chance to play stupid games. Chance to breathe is a pullback which consolidates into a good area, not the nonsense that we've seen for 6 days. And it is nonsense. That's exactly what it is. This is ridiculous. Just either break out or break down. Please stop sitting here for fucking the whole day. Someone trying to bid it up now, trying to walk up. He's got no size on his tape, so I'm just interested if they actually fill him and what. Oh, he's moved. Yeah, they're playing games on the order flow. It's actually just stupid. It's like yesterday, playing games with tiny lot sizes. This is what I mean. I don't think this is not tradable, folks. Like, if you all think this is tradable, if you're watching a book right now, it is so slow with such little size. Yeah, it will be like this till Christmas. What I said at the beginning of the day, December tends to be choppy, low volatility, low volume. Everyone's like, oh, we close higher at Christmas. That's fucking great, isn't it? It makes me laugh. Oh, yeah, we close higher. It doesn't matter what we do. You can keep giving stats. We close higher. Unless you're buying it at a good level to close higher, it doesn't mean shit. You're going to get shaken out. That's what makes me laugh about these guys on Twitter. Yeah, we're closing higher at Christmas. Closing higher than what level that you buy at? Everyone's a statistician. No one's a trader. It's hilarious. All right, still not hitting those 620s. Still don't think there's a strong high in here. Still haven't left the volume either side. Still trading sideways. This is absolutely terrible. Dreadful. All right, I'm going to get a refill of water here. Ugh. I mean, we're in a 30-point range. A 30-point range. That's what we're in. Okay, here's the break. There's the 620. All right, this is the old point of control. Now, if they get through this, the next weekly, the week before that, is sort of 675, and there is liquidity to come and run up to 720. It's undeniable. It is undeniable. Yeah, of course. Well, anything's a potential spoof. If it's above us or below us, anything's got a potential spoof. Of course, it is potential. I don't know if he gets filled until we get there. But yes, like anything you see above or below you is obviously a potential spoof. But again, that's not big size, is it? Like we just saw someone come in then with 113 lot and pull it instantly, and they've come back in again with a 50 lot this time. I mean, 100 lot is not particularly big size. I'd say bulls will want to hold this 620 now, like this edge here. Was higher on Bookmap on Ninja Trader, but bulls will want to hold this edge. This volume's going to become key as your over under for the rest of the day. Edge of your profile. Oh. It's just so slow again. Just look at this sideways action. Oh my God. Holding value right now. Building out a new ledge up here. Like we said, bullish on the day, breaking out on the daily. Market's all green. No significant pullback though. Here's the flush down to the area where I said they probably need to hold that 620 now for a continuation trade higher. Look at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, what, New York time? So what? I don't understand what you're trying to get at that there, Jack. Doesn't take a swing low. It's just an inside bar. Yeah, I did read that, Raf. Trump. With a big announcement, he said last night. Huge announcement. And then the White House came out oddly and said they're going to comment on his, what did they say, on his account or something? It's a really weird news piece. Okay, more volume being created up here now. And we just held that 620 on the pullback. Like I said, that old POC, if they're going to hold, then they're going to need to hold 620, which they held successfully for a drift higher. There's a passive buyer on a tape. Even that little flush just got absorbed. So, and you've got lots and lots and lots of liquidity below now. So very, very dangerous market at this point off low volume in my mind. They're going to have to trap to move higher. I don't think they can just keep gently, is gently the right word? Walking it up, or however you want to put it. And we've just stopped again. This tape's awful. This tape is like hilariously awful. I really hope we get a shift from this tape at some point this month, because the last 2 days that I've watched this has been dreadful. I literally don't have a fucking clue what language you're talking right now. Current 15 mini UTE candle decisive 8 MST. I literally, you're talking different language. I don't know what you're on about, bud. The only word that makes sense there to me is candle. Okay, can they get up to these 80s now? Is it 80s or 75 is the old point of control? $46 and 75. Oh, time zone. There's just no size. There's no size being traded. It's such a low volume walk up. This is really, really slow. There's a player spoofing now as well. Oh my God. 100 lot just spoofing up and down. That's 4 times he's moved in the last 5 seconds. 5 times. 6 times. 7 times. 8 times. 9 times. 10 times. What a bellend. 12 times. What an absolute twat. Oh my God, look at this guy. Is he stuck? What is he doing? Fucking hell. I don't know if you can see this on... Look at it. This is all one guy. Can you see this on the book? This is all one guy. I've never seen anything like this. What are you doing, mate? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. 31 times he's just moved it in 1 minute. And I'm not joking. And now he's pulled it all together. 31 times he moved his order in a minute. Yes, I know they don't need to be high volume, Jack. Thanks for educating me. Thanks, mate. They don't need to be high volume, but I'm not going to trade until I see high volume come in. Because this is what happens. The snap. Very, very quickly. Okay, coming back down to old point of control. My God, we've got king educators in chat today. I want to see how we act at this ledge here. If they find a bid here or not. Fucking hell, it's my first trade. It's my first day ever trading today, guys. Make sure you tell me all your secrets. Oh, yeah. You've just taught me so many new things, Jack. You just taught me that we can drift higher off low volume. Fuck, I never knew that, bud. I've never known that. Thanks, I've learned something new. Tell you what, you can learn something new from someone else. Fucking just pissing me off. All I'd want to do is watch order flow and all you're doing. Yap. Well done. You took a 15-minute bar breakout from here to here and got retested. Well done. Like, fucking something new. I don't know how to trade that. It's just annoying. It's always the same people. Okay, Nvidia losing 85. Just drifted into its imbalance and found a bid. I'm still watching this. We're still holding volume. So this first back test has just happened. We are bullish overall on a daily because we've broken out above previous day highs, which are here. We're holding balance above the daily, but we are thin. Regardless of what people say, we're thin on the book, all right? We are thin on the book, and they are playing games. I'm literally watching them play games on the book. You could learn something new, Jack, by learning how to read tape. But hey, so how we act into this node becomes important now. We're still making higher highs and higher lows. Thank you, darling. Still no trade for me. Still think this is a very, very dangerous tape because if you get stuck the wrong side of it on low volume, it will not take a lot for them to move this. It was just like yesterday. We saw the same thing. I'm going to get rid of this. We don't need that now. Once they went into rotation, that was it. That high is looking better than that last one, though. There are buyers trapped over 50 right now. There's no doubt about it. And we are starting to see a reaction there. So they're starting to walk this down now. It's more aggressive. Let's see if this retest holds or not. So it's trapped between these two sort of imbalance levels. So we've got imbalance here. We're trapped between them. How we act here becomes key. This high is not too bad. We did leave some buyers trapped above 50, like I said. The market very, very bullish overall. We're in a breakout on the daily. So really should be looking for areas to buy at, but I don't really want to buy up here right now. Not into this old point of control on the weekly. We're into a really dense area. From where we are now, really all the way up to 900, but definitely up to 680 is very, very thick with sellers. It's a highly traded area for, for 10 days we traded here. Point of control twice in a row on weeklies. Still holding flow zones, still holding volume. Tell you what, Nvidia's starting to struggle a bit there. It's into its imbalance. If it rejects 85 again and starts washing, it's going to be problematic. It's just a question then of, do the chips see weakness with it or not? Still well up on the day. It is still well up on the day. As the seller keeps coming in here and he's being absorbed into 25 over and over again. He keeps trying. First candle up. 304. It's 25 is a big area. They keep absorbing off 25 right now. Back down towards it now. Let's see if the guy shows up again and absorbs at 25 again. Yep, he's trying. He's probably going to get washed to 15 here if he can't hold. He's trying again at 25s. He's still soaking. Back to 25s again. If he gets stuck here, there'll be a bigger wash because he's been reloading there a lot. I don't think they finished their business higher, but they're building out new volume here. And if we start to leave this volume, we will rotate back down, as you can see. And if we lose that next shelf, it will get very, very nasty because Nvidia's starting to lose everything. Back down to the old POCs. Very, very possible here. Now 95 if they start to lose these shelves. Right into that low volume node. How can I contact the team? You just email me, mate. info@flowzonetrader.com. Back to these 25s again. So sellers came in under there, got caught. Delta caught offside in this current candle under 25. They tried to force him out, and he's reclaimed. It's gonna get tricky here. It's a sensitive area. They're gonna make a decision very, very soon. Because it's the first time I've seen Delta start to get caught offside both sides. There we go. So stronger selling back down to where those sellers just got caught a minute ago. Nvidia starting to crack a little bit here, like we talked about. And I think there's a rotation all the way back down to point of control and VWAP here. Very, very possible, which would be sort of 95s and below if they can sustain this auction. We're coming right into this edge of volume, but I think the back test of here is possible if they keep rejecting 30s. And then how we act there will sort of determine what we do the rest of the day. They're trying to buy this and protect that low. I don't think it's going to work. I think there's deeper coming in here. I think there's deeper coming. Here we go. Feels very close here to a wash back down to 93s. All the time it can reject that. But we are trying to balance between these two shelves right now. I'm just watching the book. I think there's a wash back in on the next, if the pop rejects here, but it depends if it rejects or not. Nvidia's trying to reclaim. Yeah, more sellers just came in here. They're looking for that rotation back down to 95 probably, and then you're going to probably see some absorption start to take place as we get into that, I would imagine anyway. Here we come. Have they got any strength to follow through? They've got to break that low. If they can't break that low, they're going to get caught. They just tried again. If they can't break that low, they will get caught. Sell side imbalance up to 28. Mag's still all green. We're still in breakout. What's the time here? 8 minutes left until the IB. Yeah, that 28.29 is going to be key here, over under. They reclaim that, say bears are in big trouble. If they reject that, there's still a chance to move lower. They're starting to reclaim it. If they hold a bid here, they will squeeze out. No trade again then. So it didn't reach for the lows and didn't offer the sell versus here. Reclaimed. Man, what a weird market. Not to retest, reclaim, and then probably re-go again. So will they go for that next point of control is the question, which would be 80s or 75, somewhere up there. Buyers will want to step in here. They will not want to lose this edge again, 30s. They lose that edge again, the rotation's still possible. God, that's sweet coffee. Yeah, exactly. Same story all year. It's not even like the bears, though, at this point. It's more just like how we're reclaiming is very, very ugly and very, very, very dangerous. This is what I mean. Low volume markets, they're nasty because we don't respect levels very well, because this might look big, but it's tiny. You know, that's like there's not much here. More down here because it's a bigger area, but still, like, we're trading very light volume. It's really dangerous, really, really dangerous. There's no follow through. You know, there's no follow through either direction. Like, we're drifting, but there's no real follow through. We're in breakout buys. Remember, we're in breakout buys on the daily. We want to be buyers, but we want to be buyers like down here. You know, again, it's another day again where Asia has had all the fun. You know, they get the rotation, they get the cheap buy, and we go. They get the buy. Everyone else, or London gets the buy. Everyone else is trying to buy very, very high right now. It's not ideal. It's really not ideal to be trying to trade higher up here after a 6-day squeeze out on low volume. It's about as dangerous as you get. It might very well keep going, but it's very, very dangerous because it would not take a lot. If someone gets stuck, it would not take a lot to see this thing slam on faces, you know? Look at that. Failed breakout there again of the high. Right back down into that 25. This is where that guy's been absorbing all day. If he gets stuck here, like we've talked about, this can trade lower. If he gets stuck, this can trade lower. There we go. Someone's stuck. This is his level. This is his level. They're trying to wash him. Oh, if he gets stuck, it's going to wash. This is what I mean about it's so dangerous. If he gets stuck here, this is the same guy. This is his level, 25s. There or thereabouts. And he's been soaking and soaking and soaking and soaking and soaking. He's trying again. He's trying to absorb the tape pit. If he gets caught, it's going to get a nasty candle down. Here we come. And it's gonna hurt him. He's tried so many times here. Like I said, I thought we'd move back to point of control that first attempt, right, and VWAP, and you're now going to see it. It's odd that they felt the need to come back here one more time. How we act here now becomes your over-under. If we fail under this, there's a deeper rotation back into here. If they hold this, then this is the transition from this edge to this edge, from this to this, create this, come back down to this, test this. He is now officially stuck, though. He is stuck. He's getting absolutely hammered. He just sold. That would have been him on the book, 139 lot, and he keeps selling now. See, he's stuck. There we go. Blah, 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 M15, blah, 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 blah. Fucking warned ya. Warned ya. Told you he's at 25. I told you if he gets stuck, he's going to get in trouble. There you go. You just got absolutely annihilated. And they do things in one single candle. Same as this. One single candle at the moment. There's no retest for it. I mean, yeah, it's so risky. It's risky to take that, honestly, when we're being a directional move. But you can see they didn't want to trade up into the last point of control, and there's the dunk. So any rejection of this area here now will see lower prices. If they reclaim this, then we'll use this liquidity to go higher. All right, if it's this, we'll use the liquidity to go higher. But any rejection now of sort of 93 to 600, that will be your telltale that this market has squeezed too much and they're taking risk off. There we go. Fucking knew I should have sized in. He was stuck. I could feel it, but there wasn't actually an entry there. and this is the old high now. All right, so we're now protecting the breakout. Once we get under here, all right, then we're no longer in breakout. This would be a look above and fail, which is what I've said all morning. Be very, very careful about failed breakouts in this market on low volume. This is your Friday high. This can be a look above and fail. If they don't hold a bid here, or if they sell this and we get under this, this goes back to an inside day. Understand, this goes back to an inside day. This would be a look above and fail if we let go of that. That's why I'm so cautious in this market at the moment. They're not done selling this yet. I'd like to see this pull up a little bit if I'm going to sell it. I'd like to see this come back up into this node here. Somewhere around here would be ideal. Let's see how we act. What was the imbalance there? 600. There is one above at 13. All right, let's see how they act. Let's see if they squeeze up there and if we see refresh sellers come in. Let's see if we squeeze up there and see refresh sellers. If there's no refresh sellers, then that's their only job was to get back down to that previous day high, which they've done. And you might see bullish continuation. Like we said, we can see an inverse head and shoulder if they reclaim that range above and we can go again. But at the moment, what I'd like to see is to see if there's some refresh sellers in this market. I've just got a load of issues on NinjaTrader here firing off. Let me just close this down and reopen it. Give me a second, folks. Come on, NT. Get open, please. Nice, Troy. Nice work. Yeah, I didn't catch it. And I just put a limit order up here. And I just got a load of error messages. So now I'm a bit concerned that my NT... Oh, great. It's put me in a position, has it? On one account. The fuck? Are you joking? Sorry, folks, just waiting for my NT to reopen it. I can see it's put me in one position and it won't open. It's the failures, guys. You're going to give the whole thing back. This is what I was warning you of. Come on, market. Can you open, please? Oh, it's TPT causing the problems. That's weird. Where are they? Sorry, folks, I've got some issue here. Can't find my TPT accounts. I can't log into TPT. Like when it says I've got no accounts, and I have. I've got 3. I'll deal with it afterwards then. Very bizarre. Anyone else having that? Is TPT down today or anything via Tradeify? Can't log in. I can't log onto it via NinjaTrader at the moment. Yours is all good? Okay, maybe it's just an issue on my server somewhere. That's bizarre. It's like my connection's gone on TPT. I cannot log into it. I'll deal with that later, I guess. Okay, well, we're holding previous day high here. Sorry, I'm going to have to get my head back in the game now. I can't figure out what's gone on there. Holding previous day high here. There's the wash down to this point. This is your breakout level. This is your daily breakout, this red line on the screen. This is what caused the squeeze. Here's your daily breakout. Here's your edge of volume. How we act here now becomes key. If we're going to see continuation lower, this is where we're going to see it from. If they reclaim this shelf here, all right, if we reclaim this and build liquidity out here, this would be the move to go higher. This is your over-under. This level here now, bears will want to defend to create a rotation. That's their job right now. And underneath previous day high, as we start getting underneath here, this will be your failed breakout. This will be confirmation of failed breakout. But don't worry, I need to learn something new every day. I don't know what I'm talking about. I haven't made this absolutely abundantly clear all day. You're good. Okay. It's almost like they've changed because I can't even log in. It's like something's gone wrong with my Tradeify, but I'll get it fixed as soon as I get off stream. Okay, so if they keep failing this edge here, they will expand range. You'd be looking for underneath this VWAP will be a move back towards these 493s. Where's the rotation happening? Well, you're still seeing some weakness in Tesla's gone red, Nvidia coming back down to where it sort of came from, but you can easily be a bid up in this market at some point. Let's have a little look. VIX has found a bid, is back over its New York Open, and it's trying to squeeze to close the gap back to 1725s. And if it does that, you'll see increased pressure on this market. So PDH is absolutely key. Bulls want to defend PDH to continue having a breakout on a daily. All right, this level above, this New York VWAP and that volume shelf is key. Bears will want to defend this. So the rotation right now is happening between Higher time frame bulls trying to defend this, lower time frame bears trying to defend this. This is the rotation. How we act here becomes key. If they reclaim it, bulls can take control of the market again. And we have an imbalance up here all the way up to 600, same area that I talked about before. All the way up to 600. There is an imbalance here from this big kill candle. So we're getting very close to this grey box now. How we act into this is pivotal. Do I have any thoughts on the F1? I mean, yeah, I think Zach Brown's a fucking idiot. Does that count? I think he's an absolute joke. And I think if they don't pick a winner, a premier driver going into this race, which they said they're not going to do, they're liable to lose the whole championship. You know, and I think given what happened with the car, not the weekend just gone, the weekend before, where they cost Lando, well, it cost both points, but they cost Lando more points, and then the bad decision at the weekend just gone, I think they've absolutely gifted Max the ability to come into this race or championship, I should say, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him win it. It just wouldn't surprise me at all at this point to see Max be Max. I still think higher than yesterday's high. We are higher than yesterday's high. Jack, you are trying to wind me up today, Chronic, mate. You're literally talking gibberish. This is yesterday's high. We are higher than yesterday's high. We are protecting yesterday's high. Fuck me. Yeah, I'm tired of it, but like Max is, as much as I hate him, it's very, very impressive. You're starting to reclaim this range now, so if they hold pullbacks into here now, bulls will take over. All right, if they hold pullbacks into here now, they will look for that continuation I've been talking about. So it's the same level that buyer was trapped up earlier into this 620. This is where he let go. Yeah, Apple all-time highs. And Nvidia finding a bid here. That level for Nvidia will have to test is this sort of 84.30. Big level for Nvidia. And you can see this market just one directional, one move down, consolidates, one move straight up, doesn't reject here, cuts straight through it. Why? Because there's no fucking volume, like I keep telling you, right? That's why we're cutting through levels, cut down, cut up. Can it hold a bid here is the question now. Can it hold a bid there? Yeah, I felt really like I'm absolutely disgusted with that Red Bull message about Kimi. They should be utterly ashamed of themselves. Utterly ashamed of themselves. He got a load of death threats, which had to be reported to the FIA because of Helmut coming out saying that he let them through, which he didn't. Alex, you have some connection data on top left of your screen. What? I don't know what you mean. Sorry, mate. Okay, so does this pull back into sort of 600 to 90s now and hold a bid? That's what we're waiting to find out here. Do we pull back in and hold a bid? Or do they slice right back through it, all the way back down to the downside again now? They didn't even get down there to hold a bid. Aggressive buyers coming in right now, trying to force this back up. I want to be a buyer in this, ideally here, for this move. Yeah, I agree with you, Miguel. I really like Isaac Hadjar. I really, really like him. I think he's got a good temperament. I think he's driven well. Not a fan of Liam Lawson, I'll tell you that much. I think he is a bit of a knob. Looks like they just want to squeeze this. I really want to see this pull back first because this is like, what, 530s? There's a 100-point squeeze out since that pivot low without pulling back. Love to see this pull back. Like this market, it seems like it just goes one way, then stops, goes the other, stops, goes the other, stops. Love to see this pull back a bit. Please, Mr. Market, come and pull back for me. Does Tradeify have any good indicators to identify liquidity? I don't use Tradeify, but I'm sure it does because it has order flow. So if you're using prop firms, you will get order flow for free. There's a video on my YouTube right now from maybe 2 weeks ago explaining how to get all of that for free. So you can, I don't know, maybe you can even get a heat map on there. I don't know, I don't use it. But you can definitely get level 2 and footprints and volume profile, and that's all you need for seeing liquidity. Please, market, please come and pull back. Don't just squeeze straight out here. Come on. Well, squeeze out it is. New highs coming. You out. New highs coming here. And once we get through this, I'd say 680 to 700. That's the next level. It's an old point of control on a weekly. So bull's successfully defending his pivot. Honestly, this is going to go. They're such buggers, man. Here it goes. Will you pick me up first? This is what we talked about earlier. I said if it reclaims this and we build this, we can go. Unfortunately, it's done like a couple of tiny bars here. But this is the move versus this. This is why I didn't want to buy up here. I wanted to wait for a retest of this daily level. And then I was hoping to get a higher low here to get higher. But again, this market just adamant in squeezing. And I'd say 680, 700 is the level. And you've got Confluence here for a squeeze through it into sort of 720s. Measured move will get you all the way up to 780. Where will 780 take us? Well, 780 will take us through an old weekly value area high, 770, and we have liquidity resting at 825s, 827s. This thing is just squeezing, straight squeezing now. Nothing I can do, it's gone. It's gone. This is the market right now. Won't pick me up today. Finally wanted to get pulled into it and it won't pick me up. Yeah, go Mr. Market. Well, thanks very much. You're all making money. I'm not. I'm sat here waiting still. Still it goes. If you're long, you can just hold on. Your TP1 was that initial balance high. If you're already long, you can hold on. We get very, very, very thick. I'll show you what I'm looking at, in case you've forgotten from this morning. All right, this is where we get thick. This is where we're currently trading at, this green line. This is an old POC. We're very, very thick in here. So this is why I wanted to buy. I didn't want to buy in here. It's way too risky. I wanted to buy way cheaper for this rotation and you can sell into it. So I'd say next TP, probably into this 80. You're pretty much almost there. Once you get through that, we've got liquidity resting at 25, 725. Old value area 770. You can mark these out. So I'd mark out 80s, 725, 770, and 835. And then after that, you might as well call it 900. Liquidity resting at 896. That's what you're looking for. That's what I'd be looking at. And those are based on previous week levels. So we're trading into previous week levels here. Do not be a dick for a tick, as you've just come right into that sort of 680, 675 we talked about. Nvidia coming back up to that 8450. What do I think max news could go up to today? I mean, you could easily see it at 900. It's only 250 points more. It could do it. If it really wants to do it, it can do it. Market will do whatever it is it wants to do. I'd certainly say shorts have been caught offside. Question now is, can it hold value here? Or are we going to get a rotation from initial balance failure? I'm going to use the bathroom while it decides, to tell you that much. Am I going to get picked up with anything today? Okay, what needs to happen now then? Well, really, either bulls are going to hold this for a continuation, but we have just come into towards that 680, or you're going to get basically look above and fail and get trapped under here for that wash back down to here again. Remember, we haven't retested that yet. This has been one straight squeeze. Here's your compression. Here's the previous day high. Here's the hold, and there's one singular move without coming and retesting. So maybe they come down here. I don't know. I really don't know what their games are today. But there are definite games on the tape. Would I have this at area's 4-hour supply? I would imagine so, based on I've got it as a weekly supply and a daily supply. Then yes, I would imagine it's a 4-hour supply. But what I would say is it's not that fresh. I mean, it's fresh since, when did we create it? Monday the 10th all the way into Thursday the 13th. So we have 3 days of supply. And this is the first time testing it since we left it on, let's just say Thursday the 13th. We left it. This is our first sort of test of it since. But that supply that was created from the 10th to 13th was the same supply that was created from the 4th to the 6th. So while it's thick, it just depends. Are there passive sellers sat here anymore? Or are they, have they had their rotation for that weekly low that we had 2 weeks ago? right? Maybe they exited down there. We're going to find out. I will repeat myself though. The market is in breakout. You've got to understand the market's in breakout, right? But we went over this morning. The market is in breakout over this area, all right? There's your consolidation. There's the breakout. Make it simple. It's a flag and go. The problem is this, all right? You're breaking out into resistance, all right? And we don't know. Well, like I said, if it did this and came under the breakout level, then you'd get a collapse. We came back down to that breakout level. Remember this level here, 547 or whatever it is. It's the same level. It's this. All right, that's your daily breakout. Breakout, retest, held, singular move. That's ugly. When we do this, that's ugly. You want it to do this so you can join in for that move. I don't control the market. The market will do whatever it is it wants to do. We can see the levels, we can see the plays, but we can't control how it acts. Alex, I'm seeing the same pattern these days on ES. Sweep the H1, then sweep the H1 high, then sweep the H1 low before making the move. I mean, that is more a sign of a rotational market. It's actually not that common to sweep both sides. Bitcoin 7% move with extreme fear. Well, let's have a look. I mean, it's coming to a key area. And this can price back up to here and still find a lower high and be sold into. All right, because this can still do this, and there's your neckline. So, you know, is this a demand level? Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, Bitcoin really has got to reclaim this area here, 99. You might as well call it 100,000. This can just be a move back in for them to resell. Absolutely can. You know, there's your high low on a daily, but I'd be very cautious in Bitcoin right now. It's done its 1,000-day cycle, like I talked about a number of weeks ago here. We expect the bearish move because it's had a bull trend for 1,000 days. That is the cycle on Bitcoin. It's a 1,000-day bull trend and then 80% give back. So Nasdaq the same, one more retest, 24,000. We're not coming down to 24,000 anytime soon. It would be nice, but it's a long way away right now on the queues. To get back down into here, it's a long way away. But I want to see how we act at 25,000, 24,900. I think that's the more important level. Do bulls defend that? Just like we talked about in the newsletter, that's going to be the level. Okay, so probably going to come back down now to this area here, unless they're going to do a bear trap under here. But this area here will be of interest to me, if they step in to buy that or not. But we are now inside of initial balance. We can just go into a rotational day. This is not a trending market. You might all think it's a trending market because we're in breakout, but so far today, all we've done is create rotation. I've not traded. Not traded, Tyson. Missed the short, and then NT went down for me, so I couldn't get anything, and I wouldn't have got the long anyway, to be honest, because it didn't come back and give me the test of here. I think there's probably more upside in this market, and it just depends how low does it want to go right now before resuming that that uptrend. That might have just been it. Nvidia's getting absolutely whacked here, though, folks. I will tell you that much. So it tried to reclaim, like we talked about, the 8450s, and it got absolutely slammed. Tesla's still red. And the rest of the market's still looking good. I'll give you a readout. Tesla, 0.25% down. Nvidia, 1.83% up. Microsoft, just over 1%. Meta, 0.70% up. Google, up 0.75%. Amazon, 1.81% up. And Apple, 1.42% up. So MAG looks strong. Want to be a buyer, ideally down here. It looks like they've just trapped bears on that little wick under, though. So we'll see what it offers. Is there a way of getting involved? It's very bullish right now. Long off VWAP. The bottom VWAP or the New York reclaim? Yeah, this was nice. I mean, even this break here. But I mean, I really wanted this. I wanted to buy that for this move. It's just not come. It's done it now, but that's just a bear trap into the low volume node. Protect it and go higher. So looking for ways of joining this to move higher at this point, but we're running out of room because we know that 680 is that old point of control. Nice work, Tyson. Nvidia just flat now. It's just stopped moving at these 83s. How are my swings doing? Hang on a minute. Apple looking good. Up almost 40% on those commons. Still not sold those. Still think this one's higher. What was that last auction? Inside that candle. Yeah, it was strong sell delta at 68. I think we can take that out. It's potential to take that out. If we can go into a trend day. Big if right now. I really want to buy down here. Nvidia looks pretty weak. It's just dripping back down towards its New York Open at the moment slowly. Yeah, seeing aggressive selling in Nvidia here. They've got to hold these lows or Nvidia, otherwise the whole market will rotate with it. So we're currently trading around the 82.63s on Nvidia. New York Open was 81.76s. Under that, remember we gapped up on Nvidia. It can close the gap all the way back down to 79s. It's possible. So if they don't find a bid soon on Nvidia, it can drag the market down with it. If we start seeing a rotation out of chips again. Remember, we're trading in supply. There's no doubt about it on the weekly. I just want to see how we operate if we can get down here. Does it give me something to play off? Or are we just going to see complete weakness and a complete rotation? So IB to VWAP looks like it's about to play out. There's VWAP. And how do we now operate then? Are we going to slice through this level? Nvidia's getting absolutely clobbered. A little bounce off VWAP, but I'm not fully convinced watching Nvidia right now, and that is starting to get absolutely diced up into its pre-market high here. It needs to hold a bid here, Nvidia, otherwise it's going to be in trouble. I just think we're going to keep rotating. This is just ugly. Because now we can get stuck here and do this, and then we can lose this, or we can gain this, and it's just... No, it's just not a good market. Not a good market. New lows here on Nvidia. Oh, I'm not going to buy this. This is too dangerous, man. This is way too dangerous. I think if anything, we might sell off. I think we might sell off here. There's big selling coming into the book. This is the level they need to hold, but because they've built that shelf now, everything has to be a scalp today at this point. Nvidia coming right back down to its New York Open at this point, folks. And it is still selling. I don't think this is done selling this market. If they retest this sort of point and control area and it stays heavy, we can rotate further again. But yeah, having to be adaptable in this market to what I'm thinking it might do, because the environment's changing very, very quickly. But I don't think they're done with this. We'll see. Bulls need to defend this grey box. Bears need to defend this grey box. Can't make a decision until it gets outside one of those. Nvidia trying to find a bid at that New York Open and pre-market high. I'm still unconvinced on it. It was a big sell though. So here we go, retesting this level up here. Let's see if bears coming in defend this or not, or if we're actually going to make new highs and reclaim it all. I don't think we're done selling at this point. Just based on what I'm looking at on the tape, I think we're going to move lower. They're trying to bid. They are attempting to bid. I'm not convinced. I think they're going to get slammed on. Here we go. There we go. There's VWAP. I think there's more pain coming here. Here we go. Here's the pain. Back down to where we broke out from, this imbalance here. I'm still not convinced they're done. I think there's more pain coming here, folks. I'm not convinced they're done. Big exchange down there into 80. Be watching VWAP in 610. 610s was the level. It's 610s, it's 613s. That's kind of the level that bears will want to defend now. I still don't think they're done. I think there's more pain in this again. They're not done selling this. No way. Here we go. New lows. Like I said, have to be adaptable for the environment, which just changed very, very quickly there. It's mainly being driven by Nvidia, which is it's coming back down to its New York Open, and if it Remember, if it loses that, we can go for gap fill on Nvidia, and if we lose previous day high, this will all be considered a failed breakout, and we will move back inside previous day's range. Remember, this is weekly supply, previous 2 weeks supply up here. This is current demand on the day. All right, and this is your edge of value. If we lose this, it's night-night. We are in a rotational market at the moment, though. More selling here. Strong selling on the tape. They're trying to get that back down to those 50s at the moment by the looks of it. And we might get all the way back down to a New York Open if they keep selling. Nvidia underneath its open price now, underneath its low of day, new low of day into its pre-market action. And remember, it's got gap fill potential all the way back to 79.73, so just call it 80. And this is strong selling, folks. This is very strong selling on the book. Into that area of demand, this yellow box, sorry, this here, is where we broke out from. If we do this here, I wouldn't consider that bullish. I'd consider that building liquidity to go lower. And any rejection of this now can force their hand to move lower. And you've got buyers trapped in this now because we're in a rotation. I think you're going to see some liquidation starting. Here we go. They're looking to test 50s and then underneath, what was that previous day high? 45. Weakness can really come underneath 45, and I'm not joking. That would be a failed look above after one retest already. Here we go. Can we get to 45s and can we sell through it now? Come on, baby. Come on, baby. So some covering here into 45s. I still think we're going to sell through it. I think New York Open is not out of the question here. This is very strong. Here we go. Alex doesn't know what he's talking about. Into lower time frame algo. See if bears defend previous day high now. And if they can, then you're looking for a move. Previous week high will be 499. And the New York Open will be 920s. Really nice. Remember, this is a straight sell. All right, once they lost this, they defended this, they lost this. This is your sell. This blue line is your next cover point, and we can come all the way down. Honestly, it can keep selling. We're in liquidation mode, so any rejection up here or even here, I expect to be sold into. They will need to reclaim this for bulls to have a chance, and we're not seeing that right now. I think quite the opposite. Lower time frame algo here. Still think there's more weakness in this. I think pops will be sold into at this point. Yes, absolutely. Your first target was the previous day high. Absolutely, you have to be paying yourself some. Absolutely. You just took out previous day high. Now you want to see if there's sustained weakness. I'd say from 70 to 90. All right, is there sustained weakness for this rotation here? There's your New York Open. There's initial balance high. And we've got lots of stuff down here that we can come and back test. All right, so definitely if you took this short from here or here, any of these levels, TP1 and TP2, TP3, and then runners down into gap fill. We expect a bit of a bounce, and then we want to see if they sell into it. Nice, pass an eval. Nice, Abe. Lovely work. I want to see a pop up here and then see if we get some more sellers come in so we can get some size into this move. still selling it. Want a new low here. They will want a new low here for that move back down to previous week high and the open. Here we go. Here's trying to get them. They're trying to force it. Want to be careful. There's a lot of selling at those lows. That's twice now. We've had a lot of selling from 30 and under. So if sellers don't get their way there, they will probably get a squeeze back out to 70s. They just tried twice to sell the low. They almost had it and it got saved. So there's definitely a passive buyer down there at 30 right now. And I'd say how we operate at 70s is what's going to be important. They're not even letting it that high right now. Okay, 30s is key. This is where sellers have been stuck. They need a breakdown under 30. Sellers keep getting stuck under 30 at the moment. Still, sellers not getting their way under 30. You need this to get under 30 for continuation. Failing to do that can cause a squeeze out to 70. All right, I'm not looking for longs in this, by the way. I'm just letting you know that's what I'm seeing on the tape. All right, defending of even 38 now. Even 38 key. This can afford a squeeze all the way back up to 70s. Just be aware of that. There's 38. If they close under this, they should go to 30s, and then under that they can get sell pressure, major sell pressure. Big battle there. You can see it between 38 and 30s. Huge battle. Sellers keep trying at the lows. They're not getting their way. If they don't get their way, they get caught. They're trying again here. Huge battle down here. There's someone trying to absorb it. If he moves out of the way, it's going to be quite a nasty flush, I would imagine. At the moment, he's doing a good job of absorbing 38 to 30. Feels like the flush is coming. Here's the 30 test. New low probably coming here if he doesn't get his way. He keeps trying to soak. He's tried again. He's loading up 30. He's added more in 20. Here comes the flush. He's doing a pretty good job right now. I think he's about to get hurt though. There he goes. So back down to the lows. When his Powell speech? Powell speech was last night. And he didn't no comment on monetary policy. Here you go, folks. There's the flush. All right, so some TP in here. You're looking for New York Open now. New York Open and initial balance low. You're looking for that to get run out. Really nice. Sell side pressure coming. Can we get to New York Open, which is sort of 92, and then low of day into 70s? That would be fantastic. I get a reload on coffee here. I'd watch Nvidia here into its previous low day in New York Open if they sell that. And I'd watch us into 70s if we can get up there. Still wouldn't mind a resell if we can get up there. Remember, this has been a straight move down. This has been the story of the market. Unfortunately, this is what happens when we're low on volume. Straight up, at least this had some consolidation. Straight up and straight down and straight up and straight down. You know, we're not really seeing one of these. We're just going from one side to the other. I would imagine we're looking for this move down here right now. New York Open, initial balance, Globex, previous day value area high. I want to trade lower at this point. We're underneath previous day's high, remember? So what we're basically saying right now is today was a failed breakout. I wonder who thought today could be a failed breakout. I wonder who said they don't want to buy at the high today. We're in supply. This is low volume. It's a good chance of failed breakout. Okay, here you get very close to previous week high here. And I'm looking for that flush now. Through this, there's previous week high. Someone's trying to sell previous week high. Be very careful here. They can get themselves caught. Someone just sold that right into previous week high. Looking for this flush here now into 93s or 92s, which would be the New York Open. Here we go. Give me it. Give me it. Give me it. Give me it. Get me into the 90s. Come on, mother clucker. Here we come. Come on, come on. 15-minute boss! Sucker nuts, buddy. Fucking talking shit to me all morning. Next up, initial balance low, Globex, previous day value area high. We can drift all the way back into that. Gap fill is not out the question. New low of day on Nvidia. Failed to reclaim what? The lows. The New York lows failed to reclaim it. Came right back into it, like I said. Watch for that retest of it to see if they sell it. We're in a one-stop market. I've said it as long as I can go on about it. There's your initial balance low. So TP here. The next thing to hold on to is these 50s. Looking good. Looking really good here. So just hold on to your runners now. You should have paid yourself a ton of money. And until we reclaim previous day high, we are in a failed breakout and we are trading back into old range. All right, it was ready. It was planned for. It's very aware of this move. You got lured in and suckered into buying high today. You ignored all that chunky 2 weeks worth of supply that we traded into up here. It had a chance to trade higher, but it didn't. So we just have to be adaptable to the tape. 2 TPT evals pass, 1,000 on the funded. Patient pays off. Thank you, Alexander. Nice work, Chris. All right, Globex here, folks. All right, big Globex level. This is also a VWAP from yesterday down here. So I'm expecting some form of reaction here. Guess what? SPY, I just got an alert. SPY's crossing that 680 on the SPY. That is a massive gamma level. So if they hold 680 on the SPY, this would be a big cover point. All right, there you go. All right, there's your gamma level on SPY. If they hold this, we will squeeze back up. If we trade below this, I'm telling you now, this is a massive lookout below scenario. All right, this is a big gamma level on SPY. If they sell this off, this market's going to get really, really, really nasty. We went over this right at the morning before the market opened. We talked about it. It's how I know that just got crossed because I set a price alert there. Okay. Well, at least if you're new here, you can see that I know what I'm talking about. This is not guesswork. This is all planned out before we get on the charts. We plan all this out before we get on the charts. Still they sell it. So Globex now tested here. London High just got tested. Where's the spiders? We're underneath that gamma level. If they start losing this gamma level, it can get really, really nasty. And they are under it right now. I'm waiting to see if we get a 5-minute bar close under it. 3 minutes left in this 5-minute bar. It's a massive, massive level for hedge funds. Yeah, W's in chat if you caught any of this. Expect some relief at some point around this 680. There you go. They're trying to bid off it. So I'd be watching spiders now if they give some relief up towards sort of 81s, and if they resell those 81s. But we know this is a massive level. You must have been paying yourself some money down here. Okay, you do not want to, get down into these key levels. We've traded underneath initial balance now. We've traded through the New York Open. Remember, our target was previous day high, New York Open, initial balance, and then hold on to runners. That's where you're at. We're trading into the Globex high right now, and we're trading into that 680-ish on the spiders. They might very well find a bid off here. We do not know, but we are going to be protective. Nice, John. Yeah, SPY reclaiming 680 here. Still no 5-minute bar close. Got 2 minutes left. So honestly, it's a huge level. If they start selling through this aggressively, this market's going to get really, really, really nasty. Look at the daily now. Look at the wick on the daily. There we go. Let's move you into the daily chart so we can go back to what I was looking at the beginning of the day. Okay. This is the balanced range, right? 2 weeks. 1 week, 2 weeks. Buyers still stuck above here. This right here is a failed breakout on a daily, isn't it? Because it's come above previous day high and we're coming back inside. So we can see sell side pressure. Where can we come to? I don't know where we come to today, but if we have trapped a lot of buyers up there and they want to sell this, this has been one straight move up. I said, yes, this is a higher low on a daily, but I wouldn't really consider it much. I want to see this market drift down into these 900s like I've talked about and see if buyers really want to defend that, maybe a 50% pullback of the range. And then if they defend it, we're off to the races. But remember, the macro environment right now is not looking good. All right, I've talked about it numerous weeks in the newsletter. It's not looking good. So if we go to that higher time frame chart in the hourly, you can see this is the thick area. All right, we don't want to be a new money long into this area. We want to be a new money long down here for the rotation in so we can take profit and then hold some, not in here getting trapped with all the people today for the rotation back down. Okay. Still not got a 5-minute close under 680. I'd be careful now. They've attempted for the last 5 minutes and they're failing. All right, so big gamma level. Might get a squeeze out of this. It can still be sold into after a squeeze out, but you might see a squeeze out of this because I know that is a huge level. All right, I know it's a massive level. Oh, they're reselling it. It's a big seller up there into 80. Oof, this is getting whippy now. This might get nasty. They're retesting these lows again. This can get really nasty really quick. I've said it numerous times. Under 680 now. They might well let this go. If they let this go and they can't defend it on spiders, I dread to think what happens with this market. It can have a pretty big flush. Here we go. So previous day value area high, probably the next level, and gap fill. I wouldn't rule these out. I would not rule these out for your runners. Very, very possible. Previous day value area high, 24s. And we can sell through that. We can close gap into 390s. Come on, hurry up and catch up, please. How long we got left? 30 minutes. New low of day, Nvidia. I think we're going to sell it. Come on, just got two little guys left. Can you get me at previous day value area high? Here we go. Okay, covering one here. Let's see if we can get gap fill. In fact, I'm going to see if we can come under the gap. I'm going to move my runner lower at this point because we've locked in some good money. Can we keep selling to that gap and under? Looking good. They're selling every pop right now. We're well under that 680 on SPY. I'm going to use that as my risk. All the time we're trading under that, I think we're going to melt. Let's go, baby. Let's get this gap and under. Let's see if we can really wash. If we come under this gap, I'm going to look for move all the way down here, to be honest. So many bulls are now trapped in this. Come on, baby. Let's flush all these guys. Here we go. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. I want to get through 400s, through 410 and 400s. They keep rebidding 410 and 400s. Can afford quite a big pop-up here, so I want to be careful. Again, I'm going to use 680 as my risk on spiders. I don't want to see it reclaim that now. Can come back and retest it, no worries. But if we reclaim it, I'll just cut this last little guy. And yesterday's VWAP is at 50s or 48s actually. 448s. So there's yesterday's VWAP. Almost at that 680. Going to use that as my over-under. There's 680. 1 minute left. The close inside this, I will cut the runner. Don't want to see this reclaim. Because we can still afford a squeeze all the way up into here. Can absolutely afford that. I don't want to sit through that with a runner and give too much back. Still trading around these 680s. Still selling. They're still selling at the moment. Don't like SPY. It's holding on. 10 seconds left here in this 5-minute candle. It's trading right there, 680s. I don't like what I'm seeing there. No follow through since trading downside. So might see a squeeze up here. Be very, very careful. Okay, out of this now. Had the chance to close under on a 5-minute. Might still do the move. Can always re-add in. SPY trying to find some relief here. Here you go. Relief we just talked about, that might happen at 680, and it can afford to come all the way up here, 40s and even up here. So let's move this up to here. So we've been in a straight sell, and you've got 25 minutes left till lunch. This has been a straight dump without retesting anything, and there are stops above 83s, and they can afford to drift back up above these 83s and come back into this if they really want to, and then see if they want to resell that Remember, we're well under previous day high now, so they can afford to back test it if they want to. It's been a big, strong sell. VIX closed its gap as well, by the way. So VIX did close its gap. And we're starting to see a bit of a squeeze out here. Nice protection of, what was that, previous day value area high so far. If we lose previous day value area high, all right, here's the gap. If we lose this is point of control from yesterday, then we should rotate all the way down here. All right, so if we lose this, we should rotate all the way down here for later in the day, for when I'm not here. Should be aware of that. If they hold this, then we're going to create new range above it. But this level here is what's key to me. Just call it 550. It's actually previous day high. That is a key level. I'd say that New York Open as well will be key. Trying to get up to that New York Open. Trying to pop these stops and get up into here. And if they can get through that, that's not unachievable, but flow zone's all pointing down. Here's the New York Open, like we talked about. Rejection of New York Open so far. Just want to see and wait to see if they want to come up to previous day high for a retest or not. So that's someone at my door. Give me a second. All right. Yeah, just trading around that New York Open. Still under previous day high. So I want to see if we can retest that sort of previous day high area and see if sellers come back in and defend that to confirm the failed breakout. God. But I know now that we've traded into that 680 Inspire and defended it. So, you know, if we want to bid up the rest of the day, if the goal was to retest that 680 gamma level and defend it, then they've done it. So we've hit a low hanging fruits. The only thing left to do was close the gap, which we didn't do. Did we do it on the ES? Yes, we did. All right, so we had divergence there. We closed the gap on the ES. We didn't close it on the Qs. Let me get my, what is that indicator? Come off here so I can see it. Would be a bit useful, wouldn't it? And will they lift this to previous day high and VWAP? So right here, level of interest for me. 540-ish. I want to see if sellers actually come back in here or not. If not, we go back into the range created. Here's a nice long interest. If you took that from here, if you wanted to take previous day value area high, just make sure you're selling some into this, because we don't know if it gets defended. It might not. It might be that you get squeezed all the way back out into the range that's been created today. All right. So if they defend previous day's value, right, that's previous day's value, they'll want to reclaim this. But if we defend this, we're going to come back down for this. All right. So remember, this is one move. This can still happen. So just make sure you're paying yourself. If they reclaim this, then yeah, potentially they drive it back upside. But I'd be very, very cautious as you get into this level here, Idris, into sort of that previous day high, that grey box, edge of value area low on the current session. You got 24-hour VWAP there, deep pullback flow zones, and previous day high all in one level. If I was long, I'd be taking profits into that, because I would expect sellers to defend it. And what you want to see, all right, is this hold up. All right, you need them to defend this area here for you to get this kind of move. If they can't defend this and we build liquidity out here, we will move lower. But we did just reclaim IB, so we literally went from look above IB and fail, VWAP, VWAP, IB, IB, maybe to VWAP. Maybe we'll see what happens here. You can see it's a big pivot. Huge, huge level here. It's starting to see some selling coming in at these levels like I talked about. Watch that New York Open. If they leave New York Open, we're going to come back down towards initial balance low. Be very cautious here as a long, dude. Very, very cautious. The main trend is down after a failed breakout. We're underneath that previous day high. That can change if we reclaim those levels. Now defending New York Open here. COVID cough, man. I feel like I have half of the year with this thing. It's a battle here. You can see it. Starting to battle over these levels. For me, I'd still be short bias. Honestly, like it's been a strong sell. Until we put in a higher low down here to confirm like we're done selling, I'd be somewhat cautious. What's that news? News just dropped. Have a look. You're losing New York now. You're losing the New York Open now. Be very, very careful. If they can't defend the New York Open, this blue line, I'd be very, very careful. Bulls will try and do this move here. If bears defend this and you get stuck under here, they'll look to rotate and close that gap. You do have divergence. SPY and ES did close the gap, but like I said, I would be very, very careful here. Putin talks have just started. Trump to announce proposed rollback in auto fuel economy rules on Wednesday. Meeting with GM and Ford. Major battle here, folks. This is your London high kind of zone. SPY coming back down towards that 680. I want to see if it holds the retest or not. It just rejected the old pivot into sort of 81, 81.50. So far it's holding PDC. So we traded under it, traded back over PDC, just pulled back, just found a bid at PDC, which is a pretty good move from SPY to hold that. It could be an indication that we could follow them on the Qs. Lots of them mag, everyone but Tesla now green again. I'd still be watching that sort of that last previous 30-minute bar. We got thick, so 525 up to 550, 525 to 550. The previous 30-minute bar basically is a big B shape. All right, and this is the level. So how they act here is important. Do they resell that or do they get an escape? I'd be looking for potential shorts here if we reject it, or if we break above and hold it, you could play the long back into the range. I don't think I'm going to play that today. Big rejection here. Back down to that New York Open again. Big rejection. Big rejection on SPY as well. Still holding PDC. I don't think sellers are giving up yet. I think it's too early to say that. The day is young. I'm watching this 680 on spiders. This is nothing more than a pullback to resell into in my mind until it proves otherwise. I wouldn't say that the sellers are giving up yet. Let's have a look what that low of day looked like. I mean, there was so a little bit of excess under 17s, but not a whole lot. But we did flip, like we got that delta flip aggressively, but it's too early to say that, Peter. We're you're 10 minutes till lunch. Just want to wait and see how we act or react. I just hope it doesn't happen in one big candle like it's been happening. Not giving me a chance. one more leg up into here. This is what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting to see if we can get into here and if it offers me a trade once we get into there. I feel like I'm going to run out of time though because it's taking so long. It's going to come into here into lunch, which is not going to be ideal. So can we get a Uno, Duo, and a Fado, which would be nice, but we'll see. I think I'm going to run out of time. Trump's talking, is he? China. That's such skewed stat, saying that it's the biggest online sales we've ever done for a Black Friday. It's also the most expensive Black Friday we've ever had. So are you going to include inflation in that, or are we just going to pretend inflation doesn't exist? I think we're going to run out of time for the next trade. If he's talking and we've got lunch coming up in 7 minutes, probably just going to sit flat here on the rest and just wait. If you're down here much more, you're going to pull the current value area low down. You're spending quite a bit of time here now. I think there should be a rule with politics about how long you're allowed to be in power for. Before like you have to stop talking about the previous people. It's the same in the UK. Labour still blaming everything on the Conservatives. He's still blaming everything on Biden. It's like, how long do you need to be in power before, you know, let's focus on what we're doing now. It's not blaming the people before anymore. It's just the easiest scapegoat for everything. Whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. It's just non-stop. He's talking about car investment in the US at the moment. Direct quote from Trump: "I'm right about everything." All right, so here's a retest of this level. I don't think I'm going to take this just because of time. We're running out of time now. But here's the level, the second leg. This is the retest. How we act here, I think, becomes really important for the remainder of the day. If we reclaim this, you're going to squeeze back into all of the range. If you reject this up here, then I wouldn't rule out, if not a retest of the lows, well, if not a new low, a retest of the low at the very least is what I'm trying to say. Wouldn't rule that out. What's that previous day high again? 46. 46? Somewhere around there. So we're starting to see some reaction here. Some sellers trying to come in here and defend it. So seeing that second leg, this is what I talked about, second leg up. This is the area of interest for me, but that's just timing-wise. 4 minutes left. Do I really want to pull the trigger with 4 minutes left into lunch? Slagging off Powell now. Talking about cutting rates, getting rid of Powell. Big battle here on the book. Big battle. So they're trying to sell this aggressively here. There is someone trying to soak it in front of 500. But I'd be very, very careful. This is the area where I'd be thinking about getting short. So I'd be very careful. Those of you who are long off the rotation, you better have sold a big chunk of your position. Big battle here. You can see it on the volume shelf here. We're starting to build out a shelf here at 508 down to 490. You lose that and you wash. Can you say that? Wow. It's testing the edge of this range now, folks. Seeing bit of weakness coming here. This is the edge of this range. If they let go of this, they might trade to the other side of this range, sort of the 90s. If they lose the 90s, you would not rule out a new lower day. I'm being deadly serious. If you lose the 90s, do not rule out a new lower day. Starting to see this is exactly what I talked about. It's just going to be a time thing. Retest of this, I think, is very, very probable. We talked about this grey area here being the area where bears will want to defend, didn't we? It's not the 50. It's rolling fibs. They're trying to lift here. This is an interesting battle. It's an interesting battle. He's talking about Ozempic. He called it the fat drug for fat people. Oh, you got. This guy doesn't give a shit. All right. All right, new hourly. This is what I mean. You're into lunch now. Volume's gone, guys. You'll see volume start to taper. You might get like a shove one way or a shove the other, but I know it's amazing. So much material. And for South Park. They need to do another Ozempic special. It would be hilarious now with everything that's happened. Oh, he's a funny fucker, man. He is a funny fucker. All right, I'm out of here, folks. It was a decent day in the end, not too bad. It's a pretty ugly market. This is what you call a range rotating market. There's your breakout. There's your trap. There's a straight reclaim. That's ugly. There's your failed move higher. And there's your straight puke. And now we're coming back to test. This is your pivot. This is your over-under for the day. Above this, bulls maybe can form some form of rotation. Below this, bears can try and test back down here. But edge is gone. Like, the edge is gone. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this just taper off again. The market doesn't really know what it wants to do. That's what you've got to understand. Like, do you really want to be a new money long? Just think about institutions. Do you want to be a new money long when all we've done is do that after that? No. That is your new money long trigger, a hold down here. And that is the problem that you're going to continue to see in this market until they offer the pullback and we come to a decent level and we see big money and big inflow come in here. Then this is just going to keep doing the same thing. Fail breakout, fail breakout, fail breakout, fail break. It's just going to keep doing the same thing. Rotation, 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 rotation. And it's unfortunate and it's very, very common for December to see that. So I'll be very, very cautious being too biased in this market until you see some form of higher time frame alignment. And what I mean by that is a daily pullback which holds and an hourly pullback which confirms a long, or vice versa. Until you see that, I'd be very, very, very cautious about getting overly bullish or overly bearish in the market. It will build liquidity until it's finished. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow morning. Nice day in the end. Thank goodness for that. At least we got something after waiting all day. But I don't know if we're going to get something this afternoon, but I'll be in Discord anyway. Those in Discord, I'll pop in there in a bit. And we'll have a look at some key levels. And I'll set some price alerts. I'll leave that price alert on 680. That's going to continue to be key. We're well above that now, 681 on the spider. So that gamma level, it's a big, big level. Worth watching. All right, folks, peace and love. See you tomorrow morning. And don't forget, today, last day of the Apex sale. If you want that 80% off, I doubt there'll be another sale for a little bit. Only reason being they've extended this twice. Okay, they've already twice extended it. Take care.